This is the Bracketologists, your home for March Madness coverage.
How's it going, guys? I'm Brandon Matula. 16 tickets have been punched to the Sweet 16 after the round of 32. I myself really enjoyed watching these games, and I'm sure you guys did too. Let's start out with some highlights. We'll start out with 9 seed Memphis and number 1 overall seed Gonzaga. Memphis really gave Gonzaga a run for their money in this one. We'll start out with Williams getting a huge dunk over the Gonzaga defense. Memphis really came out firing in this one to start out. They really just packed all the punches they got from Gonzaga, and they just went from there with all these emphatic dunks. That's the type of energy you need going into March, and you can see this here. Williams, another dunk over Chet Holmgren. Flex your muscle on that one. Gonzaga, second half, they were down 10 at the half, and then Drew Timm would go on a huge run, and he would bring it within 2 here. And then Amani Bates, who hasn't seen action in about 2 months, made a return. You see that turnaround jumper there, and then Gonzaga would finally get going after Chet Holmgren getting 2 straight dunks, getting Gonzaga fired up towards the end. They would take the lead 71-67 here, and from there Gonzaga would just pound and pound on Memphis, but Memphis wouldn't go out without a fight. Jalen Duren here, Chet trying to get the flop, and Jalen Duren just takes advantage of that, and Memphis just wouldn't have enough time to come back from this one. Gonzaga takes the tightly contested game 82-78. Let's check out the rest of the West bracket here. Gonzaga advances to play 4-seeded Arkansas, who got their win over 12-seeded New Mexico State. Very valiant effort from the Aggies. They could not quite edge out the Razorbacks. The Razorbacks have had a really tough schedule down the stretch in the SEC. The SEC has done great this year, so they should pose a challenge to the Zags in their matchup in the Sweet 16. Looking downward, Texas Tech, 3-seed, edges out 11-seed Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I was really pleased with their performance this year, but I knew that they were outgunned by the Red Raiders, no pun intended. The Red Raiders go to face 2-seeded Duke, who edged out 7-seeded Michigan State. Coach K in his final year, so he's trying to make it as far as possible. Checking things out in the East region, Baylor falling to 8-seed North Carolina. They advance after a hectic overtime game where Baylor got down to 6 players. Valiant effort by the Bears, but they fell short. The Tar Heels will play UCLA. It's going to be an exciting matchup. UCLA putting a beat down on St. Mary's. Tommy's talked about how he's like them, but they just didn't really play up to par in this matchup. Texas falls, as predicted, to Purdue. I haven't been very nice to Texas this year, and I can't say this is a surprise to me, so I'm just going to go with that. 3-seeded Purdue is going to go against 15-seeded St. Peter's after they win by 10 against Murray State. The Cinderella has entered into the Sweet 16, so we're excited to see that play out. Last highlights we'll look at here tonight, Arizona and 9-seeded TCU. Arizona getting down the court and hitting a 3 to tie things up with less than 3 minutes to play. Lampkin driving in here for TCU. He was huge in the last moments of this game. Really gave TCU a good shot at winning this one. Love the showboating there. TCU trying to get inside with a 1-point lead, and then Lampkin rebound again. Oh yeah, they're up by 3. The Horned Frogs are trying to pull an upset on the Wildcats of Arizona. Clutch 3-pointer though, ties it at 75. The fans are going wild. TCU loose ball, and Arizona would be a second off with the dunk, but in overtime, they really did a great job with offensive rebounds, as you saw in that first one, and then the second right here off of the 3-pointer. The AM1, love to see it, love the celebration, and then a third offensive rebound in this one. This one ended in a slam dunk, and that ended up sealing things for this one. The Wildcats are heading to the Sweet 16 to face the Houston Cougars. That one should be a fun matchup. Houston's coming off of a huge win over 4-seeded Illinois, winning that one 68-53. Played great defense in that one, so their matchup against the Wildcats should be a fun one for sure in San Antonio. Also joining him in San Antonio, 11-seeded Michigan, pulling over 3-seeded Tennessee. I was surprised to see that one. I saw that Tennessee was pretty emotional at the end of that one. Coach Howard out of Michigan consoling some of the players that he had just slaughtered. They look to go against the 2018 champs, the Villanova Wildcats. That is going to be a fun matchup for sure. The Wildcats beating Ohio State 71-61. Won in pretty good fashion. I'm liking the resilience and consistency from Villanova as of right now. And I really like them in this matchup against Michigan, but we'll have to see what happens. Checking out the Midwest region. Kansas making it to the Sweet 16. They're going to face off against Providence. Kansas got a little dicey against Creighton for a little bit, but they pulled it out and did a great job doing so. Providence comes into this matchup after beating Richmond by a significant amount, 79-51. They look to stop Kansas defensively. That's going to be one way that they can beat the Jayhawks. Further down, we got Iowa State making it to the Sweet 16, a Big 12 team, so great accomplishment from them. I was really surprised that Wisconsin ended up losing. In one of my brackets, I picked Wisconsin to win the whole thing, so there goes that bracket. They'll face off against Miami, Florida. I was not so surprised that Auburn, 2-seeded Auburn, lost in this one. They just haven't really performed well down the stretch through the postseason and just really the entire month of March. So it doesn't surprise me that they lost, but we got a double-digit seed game in the Sweet 16, so that will be fun to watch.
We had a bit of a shakeup in the standings for our bracket contest. Let's go ahead and take a look at these.
At number 1, we've got Austin as depressed Oklahoma State fan with 490 total points. Good stuff, Austin. Best of luck going forward. Perfecto Bracketto going up a spot. He's 40 points down from Austin, but that's okay. You never know what can happen. The guy that's got teenager humor, you're in third place still, and you're tied to Mateo Brackett. Hey, Mateo. He's got Illinois picked, so that's not going to help you long term. But hey, you made it in the top 3, so good stuff, you guys, and best of luck going forward.
That about does things for us here today at the Bracketologist. Be expecting a podcast with Tommy and myself coming up on Tuesday. We're just going to break down the weekend and just everything that transpired. We're excited to get into that. Besides that, games are back on Thursday, so be looking forward to that. Besides that, that's all we got today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace.
This has been the Bracketologist. Tune in Tuesday for a regularly scheduled podcast.